Hello teachers, this is the instructional guide for primary 3 term 2 week 6. Now for this week, I've decided to focus on only one booklet because the word problems are getting tougher, especially when it involves 4 operations. So let's start with that. I think the idea before we start, remind the student that the emphasis today is on drawing bar models, and it will be very helpful for them to answer or help them answer and understand the tougher questions. And what you need to pay attention to is the way that we teach drawing bar model, right, is we draw it part by part. But the main thing is whether do we draw based on the first few information or the last few information, and the whether you draw from the last few information or the first depend on the question, right? If the question is asking about what is left, what is the total at the end, then you have to draw the bar model from the beginning to the end. However, if the question is asking for the numbers at first, all right, or the original amount of number, then you got to draw the model from the last few information, right? You got to work backwards in that sense. Okay, so remind them that. Okay, so just skip to question 3. All right. So here the question is: Freddie has $24. Zhiyong has 8 times as much money as Freddie. They want to buy a video game with all their money, but they are short of $28. How much is the video game? So for this question, it's not asking about what happens at first, right? So therefore, it is not, we draw the bar model based on the first few information. So Freddie, $24, right? Which is, and then Zhiyong has 8. So 8 units, 8 times more, right? So that's quite simple. And then find out the question mark. The question mark is how much do they have all together, right? Because they are buying it. They want to buy is about understanding the question. They want to buy the question with all their money. So therefore, they need to find what's all together first. So 1 unit equals 24. 9 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Altogether 9 units. 9 times $24 equals to $216. All right. And then they are short, right? So I think this part they should understand. Right, they are short means that they don't have enough money, which means to buy, right, the item, right, it is what they have plus the $28 that they don't have. Okay. All right, next question 3. How many apples are there in dish? So this is still easy. I believe most can do on their own. 86 apples. So this one again, right? Do they draw from the start or from the end? From the start, right? Because it's about it didn't ask for the original number of apples, right? So hence you draw from 86 apples and 46 green apples add together, okay, 132 apples, and then split into 4 boxes, right? So they can do a second model. If they can immediately understand that they have to find the total first, and then later on divide by 4, right? Then they don't draw the bar model, right? But some of the questions are more complex, so that would help. Okay, then what about this here? Peter has 98 race medals. He has 7 times as many as Tim. All right, so how much money do they have altogether now? So this is still drawing from the beginning. So Peter, 98. And then 7 times means 7 units more than Tim. And then the second part, right? So as you draw, right, the second part, so that's not the end yet. So what happened was Tim, okay, earns another 12. So let's do it step by step before he earns another 12. I mean, they can do it this way. Right? If they want to draw together here, right, so it earns another 12. But before you do it this way, right, the idea is about finding what's the value of 1 unit first. Correct? 1 unit. Okay? So 98 race 98 race medals, and then he has 7 times as many as Tim. So 98 divided by 7, you get 1 unit. So you know that Tim originally has 14, and then plus another. The question is I'm sorry. The question is all together, right? So all together means that you have to get Peter plus Tim, right? Plus the extra 12. So all together this. Okay. All right. Next question. I think for this should be quite easy, but students sometimes may not understand that adults, okay, refer to men and women plus together. So I think that will be the main obstacle, but otherwise I think it's quite easy for them. And then second one is the adults is twice the number of children. The question is how many children are there? So first step, is to find out the number of men and women, which are the adults. So these are the adults. You might want to draw it out, get them draw it out, so they understand that it refers to both men and women together. And then after that, divide by 2 because adults is twice. Okay. And then okay, this question here. Linda had $240 in a savings account. She divided her savings into 4 portions. Okay. Now the question says how much the present costs. So it's not asking about what happens originally. So same thing, draw from the start. $240 split into 4. One portion is for paying the mother's present, and she shared the cost of the present equally with 2 brothers. So it's to find out what one portion is first, right? So 1 unit, 4 units. I think they should write it out if they are not clear, right? This is a good practice, right? 4 units equals 240. It's always finding about the value of 1 unit. So 1 unit equals 240 divided by 6, okay, equals $40. Oh, sorry, $240 divided by 4 equals $60. Okay, so this is the part that students may get confused. She shared it equally. So some may divide it by 2, but actually it's Linda sharing the cost with 2 brothers. So it's actually divided by 3. Okay. All right. Okay, I think this question may not, this set of booklet may not have the first question, so I take that back. It's actually the second booklet. Originally, I wanted to do the first booklet, and I wanted to do 2 booklets, but I think it's too much for them to handle, so decided to just go for 1 booklet instead. All right. So this question is up to now, right? Everything is drawing from the start. Okay. Now, question 11. Okay. Mr. Lee had $880. He gave all his money to his wife, daughter, and son. Daughter received twice as much as the son, so draw this first. Right, so daughter 2 units, son 1 unit. And the wife received 4 times as much as daughter. So how do you draw 4 times as much as daughter? Daughter has 2 units. 4 times would be 8 units. Okay. And his wife spent money on the new washing machine, cost $849. How much did she have left? So you have to find out how much the wife has first. Right, so 2 steps. How much does the wife have? Wife has $640. And then after that, buys a washing machine, minus $499, get $141. Okay, I believe question 14 is the last question. Let me see. Yep, 14 is the last question. Okay, so Mr. Lee saved $580 in February. He saved 4 times as much money in February as in January. He saved $138 more in March than in February. How much money did Mr. Lee save? So draw it step by step. Mr. Lee saved 4 times as much money in February and January. So Feb will be 1 unit, January will be 4 units. Okay. And then February would be 580. Okay, Jan would be $138 more. So they got to draw the extension. So yeah, right. So please show them how to do it if they do not know. So they got to add the extra part, but make sure that this is not 1 unit. Right? It is important to note that this is not 1 unit. So I would suggest maybe drawing a bit shorter. Otherwise, you'll get confused that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Okay, so plus 138. So the idea now is to find out what is in fact, so what the value of 1 unit first. So this doesn't look like it is okay. No, actually that's fine, right? But it may be a bit confusing. I'd rather draw February here first so that they'll find out. Okay, this model is a bit confusing, right? The way that I'll draw it is Jan, 4 times in Feb, right? So Jan, Feb. So Feb is 4 times, so 4 units. Okay, I'll follow this process instead. Okay, so that's less confusing for them. Okay, so I don't like the way that this is drawn here. And they have to find out what is 1 unit first. Right, it's always the finding out the value of 1 unit. Okay, so all together, right, in 3 months, how much did they save? count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 units plus this 138. So they find out what is 9 units first, then you got to add 138 in. Okay, so which is why draw this smaller so that they are able to see. Okay, all right, thank you. I think that'll be all for this week.